Hello, hello. Um, I'm gonna go over this. It might be long, might be short, but I don't know how it's gonna be. I'm actually in the hotel, but we'll go over this really quickly. Appreciate the feedback and everyone feedback on it as well. Um, to be honest, don't like to call like play or be or like just play basketball in any specific way. I like to watch films and I like to dissecting like people's strengths and utilizing it. And um, I'm gonna be showing you like I'm gonna be talking a little bit and then I'm gonna be showing you like things that I feel like it could have done just a little bit better during the game. Then it will actually make the games a lot easier for us. And I think it just come down to um, just understanding I think the keyword is spacing and how is that space is found, seen or created. And I know we all grew up playing like pickup basketball, so like a lot of us or actually many of us will see or play the game different ways, seeing different things. But I think if we all kind of agree on certain things, then we can all still play freely but then more effectively. So I actually want to talk about two things. So spacing. So keep that word in mind. And I noticed that a lot of us actually our team this season is very good. We have a lot of um, big, a lot of guard, and everyone actually know how to play basketball. And that's actually make the games a lot fun and easy for us as well. But there are two things. So let's talk about spacing. So spacing, we do really well with zone defense, and I don't know if you guys noticing that every time, even though we only play each other a few times, but with zone defense, if the team plays zone, we destroy them. Like the last game, we destroyed them. This game, we sort of destroy them. Um, so the fact that we play very effective with zone is because we knew where the spacing is, empty space or open space. So this is actually pretty cool. So I'm actually writing directly on the tablet right now, so you can actually see it as well. So if you look at the zone defense, usually it's 2-3, right? Yeah. So the fact that we play really effective in zone defense because the identify open space is already given within the zone. So even before we do anything, there's an open space in the zone already that we can actually capture. So with the 2-3, the open space is right here, right here, right here, and right here. Actually, there's one maybe a little bit over here as well. Right here and right here. So the circle that I'm drawing is open space. The X is the defense. So with like knowing like these given space or the open space is already built even before we do anything, we can kind of sort of manipulate these space. So if you think about it, these are space that we wanna pass the ball into. And then the fact that with zone defense and the key thing is ball always travel faster than person. So if you swing the ball fast enough, the movement of the defender won't be able to catch up to it. So that's why even without any movement on offense, the ball moving is actually the movement. So if you are in the correct space, you can always passing the balls around and you can effectively um, capturing it or make someone open. So with that in mind, so we'll draw just a few things just so you can see how that open space being developed. So if you kind of remember how I usually draw it, um, not sure, let's make it a square. So, and I'll go over quickly. Actually, there's a video that I already done on it, and it's actually pretty good already, so you can review it. And we already did pretty good with the zone defense, so I don't want to go too much about it. But you can see that the open space that I drove above, and then the player that I want to put is actually overlap with that open space as well. So um, in this way, the ball can all because of the 2-3. There's a lot of different way you can pass the ball. You can swing it around, right? This just to kind of generate some movement, but then you can actually get the ball inside by either this pass, this pass, and this pass. And the fact that you can always make those passes because there are gap between the two defenders. So this is one gap, this is one gap, and then this is another gap. So it's getting a little messy right now, but let me just erase it. Because the fact of the 2-3, there's always gonna be open gap, open gap, open gap. So regardless of how it is, you can always move the balls around and create these open windows to get the ball inside the middle. Yep. And then once the ball inside the middle, let's say you have the ball inside the middle right here. What happened is these gonna be collapsing, these gonna come up, right? So so in the game, I don't know if you remember, there's always one person cutting the baseline. So he can always cut in the baseline to get the ball on the base. And then as the guard that we shooting, we're gonna actually move over here. The reason why we're moving into these wings so that our big or whoever play the middle can actually see us. So right now, what he's seeing is he's seeing one guy over here, one guy on the baseline, and one guy on the wings. So we have three different options that we can use. One of the things about offense is spacing as well as option. If you only have one option, then that's the only option you can do, right? But if you have three or four options, now you can pick and choose. I can pick A, I can pick B, I can pick C, and I can still accomplish the same thing. Shooter, or big right at the baseline. So just keep that in mind. Um, don't have to understand this. I'll share another videos that I share on the previous season, and I think it's pretty good. But I just want to show you one video um, on the game that we did.
Only mode.
Pretty good already.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Todd Christensen. I'm the Director of Marketing at QSI Corporation.
I just want to show it so that we can always see it. And then you can put it for the tackle. So I don't think we have to do it.
All right.
I'm gonna turn off the audio. This is me being annoyed, but it's really helpful. So I just wanna show you what
Skippy is wide open. So because of that, when we swing it, you can see that he's moving, but there's a gap in between where she can pass that ball to Amo, which is right in the middle. So Amo is in high position, and you can see that. I just want to rewind this a little bit. If you look at Allen, because I believe that I told Allen specifically is go behind everyone else. So you can see that this big right here, he could not see anything. He could not see, he can see everything, but he cannot see where Alan is because Alan is in his blind spot. So you can clearly tell that Alan know exactly where everyone is because he's behind everyone, but this big that defending him have no idea where he's at. So when this ball passed to Amo, so instead of, and Alan did a pretty good job on that game. He just stayed right between this area right here and avoiding the 3 second as well. So when Amo got the ball, he turns around, he saw Alan wide open, and he just passed the ball to him. And because Allen knew that there's no one in between him because the defender is in front of him already, so he can comfortable catch the ball and go up without worry about anyone. Okay, in this game, like bother anyone, and I hope this help. I
Okay.
think it just
Yeah. So that's just how the same concept is being applied for this try over here that I draw. Is that one cutting baseline? If we get the ball to the middle, we have a lot of option, and that one option was hitting the big right next to the baskets as well. Okay, so zone spacing. Keep in mind the word spacing because when we move to man defense, that spacing is still applying. So I wanna go over. Let's see. This is some note that I took from the game, but okay. So for men, for man defense, we have to remember that the difference between man and zone is that when you play man, the spacing is dynamic. Like when I said spacing, meaning open space. Open space is dynamic because it depends on how you're moving, right? So if our player, so let's say for example, I'm gonna draw something very ridiculous, like very funny, just to prove the word spacing um, to everyone, because it's a very it sounds simple, but it's very complicated actually. Yeah. So let's say you have um, let's say you lined up like this is um, I'm gonna draw something really funny. This is us. One, two, three, four, five. You see, like if we just this is never gonna happen in the game, but let's say if our player swear is our player, we're just gonna go up and line up one line like this. What happens is the defender is gonna just line up exactly like us, right? So what is the open space in this scenario? So open space would be this whole area, right? Just between right behind the defender. That's the whole area. So what happened? So that's just to kind of prove that in a in a man defense, the space, the open space is created by how we moving. So let's say if we moving in a different direction, right? In like a different way. So let's say if we have here, 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 right? So let's say this is we have three people coming on the wing and we have two people on the other side. So now what is that open space look like? Right here, right? So we have that open space right over here in the middle. So understanding it, like understanding the open space on the main defense is not given to us. to from a zone defense, it is given to us because the zone is set the same way every single time. Like you the ball come down, you have 2-3, you have 3-2. So one of those scenario or whatever the zone is, but it's set the same way every single time. Man defense is not set the same every single time because every time you run down, you always run to different position. You don't run to the same position every single time. But the open space is created by our movement. Like whenever you go down, you stay at one space. You are individually and collectively drawing out that open space. Either you close that open space or you draw out that open space, right? So I hope that makes sense. But um, so understanding that there's a few ways in the game, um, and I'll remind that in the previous game as well. So there are two things that I want um, to say. Let me see. Actually, maybe just use the game as an example. Let me see. So I have a couple notes on the game right over here. 1838. So that's the timeline. So this is the previous game that we did. 1838. So this is the good down screen over here. Chi actually set a really nice screen. So the screen setting on the blind spot a big, right? So when he's setting that screen, Kevin is right. Kevin is free, and the ball is on the wing right now with Pete. So if you run and then if you just stop right here, Pete has a nice entry pass. The timing is great. The ball going in here. So if you look at this, Pete, Daniel, Chi, and me is all stay outside. So let's just take this snapshot and draw it out over here. So this is what it look like if we draw it out over here. Pick Daniel, Chi, and me. Kevin is right over here, right, and he has the ball. This is the basket, right? So I think you have defender, 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 defender. This defender is actually drawing Kevin right here. So let's not draw on the arrow, so that way we can see what the open space is, right? So if you're looking at this, we are occupying a lot of the space on top, and right now is Kevin and a trailing defender. So the whole open space is right over here. So why is that critical? Because I believe that if Kevin just stay right at the space, he could just turn around and play one-on-one with that 32. And which I think Kevin is capable of that. I think if Kevin see a one-on-one matchup without any help defense, Kevin can, I would say 80% you can win that matchup. But what happened right over here is that rather than catching that ball, and the reason why is critical because if you catch that ball and you stay right here, you still have a dribble. Remember, if you think about this, if you can get the ball inside without spending a dribble, meaning you still have a dribble to dribble the ball, you can do so many things with it. You can jab step, you can pump fake, you can do a lot of different things and still have the dribble to use if you need to. So I like this offense a lot, and this is not even what we draw, it just happened naturally. But what happened is Kevin, rather than stop and hold the ball and turns around, he take a foul. So now you see that Kevin tripped the ball back to the outside. So now we are back to square one because we are passing the ball back to the middle and on the outsides again. So we had the chance to get the ball inside, but then now we passing it outside. So that hope that makes sense, because when we had a matchup one-on-one that we like, and then there's an open space because everyone is staying outside, that's the matchup we really want, and we should capitalize that. Um, yeah, so that's just one. Let's go with another one. So this one is uh, 1917. I think it's just right after that one. So same this one. So we have Daniel driving baseline, then me and Kevin, and now you can see that Daniel is out the pictures. Everyone is on the other side. So I believe that Kevin once again kept inside the three, could have either take a shot or attack the 32. I think during the game I feel like Kevin has a lot of opportunity to attacking a slower defender, because this guy is like big and slow. So I think if he can just drive, because there's an open space right here. Daniel just kind of occupy that space a little bit, but not too much. But there's an open space for Kevin to capitalize that one-on-one matchup. So the key thing for man defense is sometimes you don't have that open space, but if you can see an open space and a one-on-one matchup that you liked, you should go ahead and attack it. Yeah. So 1956, I think this one is almost a play that I want to run. So you see, uh, Kevin set a screen for Daniel, and Daniel has the good entry pass, right? So once again, the ball get inside, and this time I felt like Kevin had a good intention. He catch the ball, and he turns around, which is great because we are very close to we in close proximity to the basket, and we have the opportunity to play one on one with the matchup we prefer, right here. And the fact that he can turns around, meaning that right over here you still have one more dribble to use, which Kevin. So this is a really good position. Even though he's not open, someone guarding him, but you get the ball inside and you still have one dribble to use. That's great. That's what we really want. Anyone like either G, Kevin, anyone, if we can get the ball right over here and turns around facing the defenders, we love that. Yeah. But the thing that doesn't work on this case is that Chi, rather than stay in this position over here or even step out to the three, because what happened if he step out to the three, if Chi step out to the three, is he's gonna bring that defender out. And what happened is now is open space and one on one, which even better for Kevin. But because the fact that G come over and screen, now he bringing another defender with him. So now it's become a one on two. Um, yeah, so it's just something we can keep in mind that if we get the ball into a close proximity, don't use another screen, because using another screen would just cramping the space. Yeah, okay. You see, this is so cramped. It's like 2-on-1 right over here. So that defender was having to help out and make it. Okay, so two more, and I think we should be good. So another one is, yeah. So G occupied the open space of Kevin. So that's what I mean. Um, I just want to read the notes as well. Kevin has the perfect position, facing the basket and still have a dribble. That's what I think, Kevin. You said that you want to play free, and I think in the game you are playing really, like you playing with a good instinct. So now you just have to knowing the space and understanding the space in order to even make yourself more effective and even more a threat to other people as well. And G as well. Actually, the next two play is actually for G. So let me go to the next one. The G is great. I just want to say to people that G is probably the best poster that you ever seen. Even though you haven't seen a lot of that yet, but I can't wait to see G that dominate the post. You can already see a couple of the stuff that he did the last game and this game already. But let me show you 28-18. So this is actually a nice set play. It's not a set play, it's just a downstream, but I love this because what happened is if you think about this play, so what happened in China is actually started from the inside position. So she started from a position of a big, and she started from a position of a guard, which is on the outside. What happened is she's coming in to where the guard of China is and screen him, and then China pop out. So what? So if you think about it, China and Chi is swapping position. China stay from the inside first. Chi start from the outside first. Now G come in and screen, and then G opened up and stay in the inside while China going out. So basically swapping position, but it's really effective because it's using it opened up two options. So that when G screen, China coming out, tell that China had a shot that she could take. So that's the very first option. The second option is Chi has a good position. So you have two options. So China, instead of passing that ball back to Daniel, should have feeding Chi that ball. So same thing, right? Again, we want to be able to feed the ball inside to anyone, preferably a big or someone big. So and without them spending a dribble. That's always the key. If you can get the ball inside without spending a dribble, you can do a lot more things with that. So China could have passed the ball to Chi because he just right in front of the defender. So good position to receive the ball after Daniel. But the fact that now if you passing back to the outside, now you kind of back to square one. So so that's just something to keep in mind. Um, I'm gonna show you a play that kind of similar and worked out really good. So this is from a different game, but you could see that you have a big, which is Amo, you have me as a guard, and you have a guard as well. So a guard started from the inside position, a big started from the outside position, very similar. So a guard gonna screen for the big, and then they're gonna swap position. So look at this play how it turned out. So Amo passed the ball. He received a screen, right? So what happened is the big it got stuck on the screen now. So Amo get to the inside position while the guard coming out and stay on the outside. So very similar to the other play that I show you, which is swapping position, right? But what happened is now if he was a shooter, he can shoot the ball. So that's the first option because it's open. The second option is now because of the screen, our big is getting a better position as well. So pass it, then layup. One more time. See it, pass it, see the screen, get a really good position, pass it, layup. So it just it's not a play, but you can see that there's a lot of things we can do with this, right? You can have a big screening a guard, or you can have a guard screening a big in this sense. But it's the same concept. you pretty much swap position. So in the game, if you're thinking about how to get free, start it from a big position, and then if you are a big and you want to get to a good position where you can be effective, start it from the outside position. And then when you screen, you swap position, now you get a better position and the ball can move as well. Yeah. So we're just gonna do one last one, 22-17. It just in the game we are having a big, but we're not feeding him the ball. 27. You can see that there's a lot of pressure. So there's guy on top that like surrounding Kevin and Pete, and China is being pressured a lot. You can see that this whole open space, Chi is by himself. Like you can see a whole open space over here. So what we call is to release the pressure, meaning that if we felt like there's too much pressure going on while we dribbling the ball, or we cannot really find any option, the easiest option to release that pressure, taking some time to kind of move around, thinking of what to do, is to feed that ball to the big. So over here, you can see that China could have passed the ball to Chi, but at for some other reason, I think she decided to swing the ball back to the middle. I would prefer that you I would prefer that we feed the ball to the big. That way we release some pressure. Yeah. So when we feed the ball to the big, what happens is the defense gonna condense because they wanna help. At some point they wanna help. That way it's gonna open up us. So that's like the easiest offense for men is to get the ball to the big in a good position. Yeah. So even right here, you can throw the ball over the top. You can throw the ball bow pass to his right. There's a lot of different ways to feeding that big. Yeah. But whenever we get into trouble and we send the ball back to the middle outside is a good safe option, but at the same time we are back to square one. So we have to remember that if we have an option to kind of move forward, we gotta take that chance. But if we keep swinging the ball to the middle outside when we play man, we are constantly just going kind of circular. Like we're not really go anywhere with the offense. So that's about it. Hopefully that helps a lot, and see you guys on Sunday. Hopefully, guys, will be a better team. Remember, we always play, learn to know how to play better with each other, and at the same time, we always have fun. I don't want to draw any play. Like the whole thing I'm talking about today is basically just uh, option things that we see in the game, and we could have done it, but then during the game we were thinking of something else, and we make mistake. But that's how we grow, right? We make some mistake, we learn from it, and we play better, and that's how it is. Yeah. But the keyword is spacing. The more you play, the more you rewatch the game, then you will understanding how to utilize that space effectively. Uh, how you how you would do certain thing to create that space, or you would do um, or you would see that space eventually better. Okay. Hopefully, I don't bore anyone with too much talking, but that's how it is. Yeah. See you guys on Sunday. Let's go.